Of the many obstacles military families face, childcare is often one of the most common and difficult to navigate. Military spouse Kayla Corbitt has spent years advocating for more options and access, and joins us today to discuss her efforts and organization, Operation Childcare. Kayla, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Tell us a bit about your family's military background.
It's interesting because I actually, as a whole, do not have any military background in my larger family. So when I met my spouse in the Northern Virginia area, that was my first experience with the military community as a whole. We now have two children and we live in the San Antonio region.
So you know firsthand the challenges of childcare while being a military family.
Yeah, so it actually started way before I had kids. It was our first overseas stationing, which was, I guess, my first mil spouse kind of introduction to life. And when I arrived, I was, as I said, I was just very surprised because I saw that anyone who was working at this duty station, any women in particular, they either didn't have any children or they had school-age children. And my concern, which of course later confirmed when I had my own children, was that if I did have a child, it would be a choice. I needed to choose my career or to take care of my child because childcare just was not available. And what was available was really difficult to navigate. And since I did have a background in advocacy and I did a little stint as a contract administrator, I did help families before I even had children navigate this process and see what their options really were.
Does the government provide any assistance? And if so, is it easy enough for military families to qualify for and attain it?
Yeah, so the issue is the expectation management and the access to those subsidies. Currently, there isn't a single resource that'll walk you through beginning to end. And we actually had some families as part of our research phase that have never attempted to access care to give it a go. What is it like from start to finish if you've never touched it before and you had no idea what you're doing? And it took them on average 2 months just to determine if they were eligible for a subsidy.
You decided to tackle this problem head on and create Operation Childcare. What is the organization's mission and how does it work?
Operation Childcare's mission is equitable, affordable access for quality childcare in DoD affiliated families. So that might be active duty, reserves, retired. Anyone who is supporting the mission is part of this group. So we have actually made childcare, the search takes seconds now. You're able to instantly see your eligibility. It's dynamic. It adjusts based on the criteria you put into it. And then your expectations are managed. When it comes to subsidies, we have kind of a stoplight system across the top of our page. So it'll list, all your subsidy options, and then red if you're not likely to access it in 6 months, yellow if you may, green if you will. And then, of course, if you have no options available, once you do toggle down through our search engine, which is the first of its kind, it does make 60% more licensed care available online. What we found was that they just were not online because they had other things to do than to manage a website. So we made that available. And then if there's nothing available in your area, you roll over into the first nanny referral agency exclusive to the DoD community. And we're looking to solve a couple gaps with that. And one is the wait list that families face when they relocate, which often means they have to quit their job. Someone needs to quit. It's very difficult to get 2 wait lists to line up. So what we do is offer this care, this temporary care with these temporary contracts until they're able to access that subsidized care. Subsidized care always cancels the contract. And secondarily, we're looking to close that military spouse unemployment gap. And it's not just military spouses. We actually have a lot of reservists and Coast Guard reaching out to be caregivers themselves because we allow both short and long-term contracts. And so a lot of times, most of the time, if a spouse wants to work when there's a relocation, they kind of have to burn the candle at both ends. They have to watch the kids all day because they can't afford the childcare and then work all night and then start over again, which of course leads to a lot of issues.
So Operation Childcare addresses 2 issues that military families deal with: childcare and employment for military spouses. Is that right?
It is. And actually, we really like to target a third issue just because it hasn't been targeted, and I want to keep it at the forefront. And that is our EFMP families. And while it does fall under childcare, they are a unique demographic who has not been able to access childcare historically. And it's created, kind of this whole host of other issues within that community.
And are all these resources available online in one place, or is there any in-person opportunities for families?
Yeah, so it is all available online. We are meant to be a one-stop shop for expectations and availability. I do offer the ability for anyone who cannot find care or is not sure after they've done our search, what can I do to reach out? We have a team staffed of volunteers who are here to help families navigate that process. I do still have conversations with people from all over the world who are asking, how can I get this here primarily? And secondarily, what can I do while I wait?
So please give us the website so for families who are watching, they can find out more and go to the right place.
Yeah, of course. It's operationchildcare.org. We did keep the .org because after all, it is open source information. It is a freedom of information. And we want everyone to feel like they can really reach out for help. We are here to help. We are a business, but this was primarily just to increase access to childcare and advocate for change.
Thank you so much for joining us and talking about this very important topic.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I had a lot of fun.